Welcome to Bulletproof Veteran Podcast. Thank you for your service.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Bulletproof Veteran Podcast. I am crazy excited this week because I have on the show the two founders of Operation Vest. They're the husband and wife team who started the dog tag run. All right. And you know that I love Suffolk County Veteran Run Series. I talk about it every week, all these different runs. So I'm just ecstatic to have somebody on that actually puts on one of these races. So we have Stefan and Jenny Hespeler. They are on the show to talk about what they're doing with Operation Vest, trying to eradicate veteran suicide, and just talk about service and talk about your community and everything that goes into being a good member of a community and giving back. So Stefan, Jenny, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So what we normally do on the show is we kind of just hand it over to you to tell us a little bit about yourselves and your organization. Now, we talked prior, and you guys are not veterans. You have family members that served and all of that. But right. What I really like about that, and what I kind of want to talk about a little bit today, is everybody has their own way of serving. And you guys have kind of picked up this mantle for veteran suicide, and this is your way of serving. And I love that. So please, we'll start off with telling, a little bit about yourselves and then the organization.
All right. So Operation Vest, we founded last March, right before COVID. But we've been doing the work we've been doing for a number of years with another nonprofit, national nonprofit. We want to keep our work specifically more local. It's funny because 5 years ago, we never imagined our life would be the way it is now. It all started really with just a challenge on Facebook for the 22 push-up challenge.
Yep.
A friend of mine, good friend, Marine. My brother's also Marine. They went into boot camp for the buddy system. And he challenged me, and I first saw the notification. I'm like, oh, cool, push-up challenge. I like doing push-ups, and I first thought it as just that, but really once you learn what the significance is of, at the time it was 22 veterans per day dying by suicide. I just thought that was unbelievable, and I was actually embarrassed and sad that I didn't know that. I've always been a supporter of the military. Like I said, my brother was a Marine. My dad served in the Army. My uncle was a Marine. A lot of family members of service. So for me to not know that, I felt like that's something that, it didn't seem right. Our veterans are coming home, and a lot of them have a hard time transitioning and just really succumb to their own demons. And I figured if I didn't know this, there is a lot of other people out there that did not know that as well. So did the push-up challenge, and it just starts with awareness. So I figure if I could do the push-up challenge, maybe one additional person per day could be a little more educated, and then start with that. We did that for 22 days, and then it turned into 44 days. And Jenny said, why don't we just keep doing it for a year? I'm like, okay.
Easy for me to say, right?
Right.
So here we go.
Get down on the floor and do push-ups. Do it for a year. I don't want to hear you complaining.
As the year progressed, push-ups by itself, I felt like wasn't enough. So we wanted to do more. There's that saying, the more you do, the more you want to do. So we reached out to, at the time, reached out to a national nonprofit that we were a part of and asked if there was any local events, and there wasn't. So we decided to take the mantle and just start spreading awareness. And our first event was at a youth center in Lindenhurst, where we had some veterans speak, just sharing some of their story, just to help make a connection between civilian, and these were youth kids that we were talking to, just make connection between the veterans and the civilians.
Right.
Really great day. And then we just wanted to do more. So I had a running background. So I said, hey, let's do a 5K.
And I thought he was insane. So I'm like, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Trust me, anybody who wants to do a 5K and run it yourself, you're insane. I'm just saying it now. I love you. Keep doing it, but you're insane.
Yeah.
But we embrace that insanity.
Yeah. Really didn't know the amount of work that would go into it, but it didn't matter. We wanted to do something. So for Jenny and I, we don't have children. So we looked at it as, okay, this is something really we can get behind and make a difference and can continue to be passionate about. So, we really put everything into the work.
This became our purpose. Since we weren't raising quality humans in the world, we decided to divert our attention to something else that was so important and so needed. So,
Yeah. Well, you're educating the humans that are already in the world,
Yeah.
and it's something that's so needed, because it's funny what you said, that you didn't know. So you were doing the 22 challenge, but you didn't really know what that was all about. And it's funny that you say that, because I think that's so true about a lot of these challenges, whether it's the ice bucket challenge or, the push-up challenge or whatever. 90% of the people don't know what it's about. And then take probably another 80% of those people won't even take the time to go learn about it. They're doing it for Instagram likes, or they're doing it for, in the push-ups. Hey, listen, look, I want to show off my glamour muscles.
Right.
It becomes something like that. It's definitely a credit to yourself that you said, hey, well, what is this actually about? Why are we doing 22? What's the significance?
Right.
And,
'cause it's an odd number,
it
it's
is.
not even 20 and even 30. It's like, what is 22? And we were both just so embarrassed that we're like, never knew that was a thing.
Yeah. I think even a lot of veterans, I think a lot of military members, when they're getting out, they don't even realize the statistics, because we're not told that. I mean, now maybe it's a little different because of the internet and everything, but like when I was getting out, I didn't know how many veterans were committing suicide. I got out in 05,
Right.
and you're talking about, years after 9/11, in the thick of Iraq. I mean, 05 to really 09, 08, in that range that was some of the heaviest fighting in Iraq. Afghanistan was in full swing. So we had a lot of people getting out of the military that were dealing with now trying to enter into the civilian world. And that is a daunting task.
Yeah.
So you guys raise money to combat veteran suicide, and you're giving to like different organizations and stuff like that. So you guys, you're the fundraising arm, basically.
Right. Like that's what we decided to do when we converted to our own nonprofit as Operation Vest. There's so many great services for our veterans on the island already, and so many different coping mechanisms. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. So we just decided to function, at least for now, as a pass-through organization where we partner with everyone that we've made such great relationships with thus far. And we partner with them and, help them to work further towards their goals.
Yeah.
It's evolved. We started the dog tag run in 2007. 2017 was our first run, and the first 3 years it benefited a national nonprofit. And we felt the money wasn't coming back to our local community as much as we had liked to. And nothing against the national nonprofit, they service veterans throughout the whole entire nation. We wanted to focus specifically on the ones that were close to home. Not say one veteran is any better than another. They're all amazing. We appreciate every single one.
Sure.
We want to see the fruits of our efforts, like
We
in our
wanted to help the faces of the veterans that we were seeing in person, in our communities, and make the impact there first. If it grows beyond there, then that's great. But
and it's important. It's important to have both. You need the national level, especially when it comes to lobbying down in DC to get legislation and push stuff through, and larger programs and working with the VA and all that kind of stuff. But you need the local organizations to interact with the faces, like you said, that they see at these events, and make sure that these people are actually being taken care of and the money is really going into that community. You've worked with Rob Novotny, who we've had on the show, Team RWB. He's doing Project 9 Line, and all of these organizations. What's really cool about, especially some of the ones that you've teamed up with, Warrior Ranch, all these other ones that are here right on Long Island, is they're very unique alternative therapies to just going to the VA and getting a bottle of pills,
right?
Because you're depressed or you have PTSD or whatever, or you're dealing with toxic exposure, and there's anxiety or stress that deals with that. It's amazing that these local organizations key in on all these alternative therapies, and I know that's something you guys are passionate about.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So we wanted to make sure that, as we continue the number of years that we've, done the work that we're doing, we made some, like Jenny said, we made some great relationships, but we're still looking for other ways. There's not a one size, there's not a one size fits all for helping our veterans with different ways of coping with PTS. Some therapy is best. Someone needs to actually do something. So, as long as there are resources out there, we're going to continue to keep pointing in that direction.
Yeah, for sure. It's important work. What you guys are doing is amazing. And you've been very successful. You've done a great job of raising quite a bit of money at the national level and now at the local level. It goes a long way what you guys are doing. I know my buddies who run the dog tag run, they all know it. It's a great name, first of all. I love the graphics. You guys just posted a new one on Instagram the other day. You guys do a great job of marketing to get that money coming in so that you can help these organizations. Tell me a little bit about starting that 5K and what that was like. You said it was a lot of work. What was it like to try to get something like this going?
Well, you pretty much don't know what you don't know until you realize that you don't know it. Exactly. So I think one thing that I tried to do is just partner with people that have done this before.
Right. Ask a lot of questions.
We reached out to Mike Polanski at Greater Long Island Running Club.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, we're looking to put together a 5K. He goes, hey, no problem. I went to his office and I sat down with him for an hour. He pretty much gave me setting up a 5K 101 basic school training in like an hour.
It's like a bullet pointed sheet.
He pretty much told me what the cost would be, who to contact, pretty much the whole step-by-step of what to do. So pretty much followed that thing to the T for the most part. And then you learn as you go, you learn what you can do marketing wise and what you can't do. And you pretty much, the biggest thing is just getting the word out there.
Yeah.
Once people get behind a cause that they're passionate about, they'll become like mini promoters for yourself. So it's hard to do it when you're just by yourself. And a lot of the work that Jenny and I did in the beginning was just Jenny and myself, but we've worked with a lot of great people, and now there are so many people involved that want to help and want to contribute.
Right.
Because for me, I'm just a promoter by nature. Not speaking for Jenny, but for me. So if I like something, I tell everybody about it.
And he doesn't get embarrassed. He just goes out there. If he's passionate about something, which you should be, if you're passionate about something, you just go and ask. The worst they could say is no.
Right. So. Like asking for sponsorships. I never felt weird doing it because I knew where the money was going to, and I knew the cause, and it was nothing, it was only positive things associated with it. So why would I not? So the more money that we can raise, the more people are going to be able to directly impacted from it.
Yeah. And now with, everything that happened with COVID, so you guys started your own foundation right in, March of 2020. You picked an awesome time to try to start something up. Things were just chaotic, and I'm sure that it was tough, but out of every bad situation, there's good that comes of it. And I think these virtual options are going to help out a lot of these races, because for me, I work shift work. Okay. I work weekends, nights, midnights, things like that. So it's tough for me sometimes to commit to some of these races. The virtual option has allowed me to do all 9 of the Suffolk County Veteran Run Series races because I don't have to be there on that day. I can run it 3 days later or a week later or whatever the case may be. I know it takes away a little bit from the in-person event, so it's a double-edged sword. But how do you guys feel about moving more towards this virtual world that we're in, where you run when you want to? Are you guys fully embracing it, or are you still like holding on to, I want that in-person kind of thing?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
the virtual option is great. We started it the year before last, just for out-of-state people, things like that, people that still want to contribute, but obviously aren't local. And it has been great because, like you said, you can still participate and feel like you're giving back, even if your schedule doesn't allow it.
Right.
But I will say, for me, there's nothing like having everyone there and seeing the faces and just connecting with the people. So, it's definitely both. It's going to remain as both options for us.
It's a synergy, but like you said, where people have certain schedules, they can't be in person. So virtual is the next best thing. And it also allows us to reach more people and still raise more funds. So we'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, the in-person is still great from a marketing standpoint because every one of those people that show up there now become a poster for your organization. They're going to wear the shirt as they're leaving. They're going to stop at 7-Eleven and get coffee. And somebody's going to be like, hey, what is that? Or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And it's really important because I was talking to, actually, it was the last interview I just did with Bone Frog Sellers. And we were talking about how he would go to a party and put a bottle of his wine down on a table. And that was his marketing in the beginning, especially because it was, if he gave a bottle to somebody, they would bring it to somebody's house and the label was cool. And they would be like, all right, yeah, what is that? I'm going to order it.
Yeah.
Same thing with his coffee, whatever the case may be. We are giant billboards for whatever we purchase. So I say this time and time again, for everybody out there, know where your money's going and put your money towards organizations that are helping in your community, like Operation Vest. Wearing a shirt that has, I think I have the shirt from last year's run. And when I wear it out or whatever the case from the dog tag run, people know.
You're going to like this
hey,
year's shirt
cool.
even more.
Well, I'm
back to like old glory
colors.
like red,
very
white,
cool.
and blue.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to that.
We're excited about it. We've always tried to put like extra special detail in everything that we do because we want it to be a shirt that someone would wear year round.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of shirts from Grunt Style or the Nine Line. So I like to wear those shirts throughout the year. So why not have an event shirt that doesn't necessarily look like an event shirt? It could be a shirt that someone could wear.
Right.
Yeah.
Any time of the year.
You want people to want to wear it because the more often they wear it, the more it promotes what you do.
Yeah.
So, and therefore the more impact we can make. So.
And that Nine Line stuff is great. I'm a fan as well. My buddy lives a few miles away from their main building, and I went down to visit, and I went to see their like factory and their main store, and they have a Black Rifle Coffee like bar in there. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very, very cool. But it makes you, like you said,
is fun. Swag is fun. People like swag.
Yeah. And like you said, now you become somebody that's promoting that product, promoting that company, organization, or whatever it is.
Right.
Speaking of different organizations, what are some of the ones that you guys have? We talked about, Rob and what he does. What are some of the other organizations that these funds go towards here on Long Island?
Last year, we partnered with Eileen Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
She's become a good friend of ours. So healing horses and veterans through their programs.
And first responders.
Yes. We want to make sure that because for one, we don't have our own program. For one, like Jenny said, we want to reinvest in the organizations that are doing it well. There are other organizations that do great things for veterans. We are still in the process of identifying other organizations through the connections with Project 9 Line and Eileen Shanahan. Those are the two largest ones that we donated to last year. This year, we're looking to branch out and have more organizations that we can give funds to.
Yeah. There's another great organization called Sail Ahead, and they take veterans on sailing trips as another alternative form of healing. They're based on the North Shore. I forget exactly what town, but it's a duo, two brothers. They're actually very young and inspiring adults, in my opinion. And so we'll look to partner more with them since sailing season is now here. Warrior Ranch, which is Eileen, Project 9 Line, which is Rob Novotny and Patrick Donahue. And who else?
And we're also open to having other veteran service organizations that provide programs to reach out to us so we can have a conversation to see if it's a fit.
Right.
Because we have funds that are available to be distributed, and we're still looking to grow those partnerships.
Yeah. And you want to make sure the funds are going to good, good organizations that are the money's getting to veterans. So I know Sail Ahead, you guys told me about that. It was one that I didn't know about. And you're right. Those are young guys doing that, which is impressive.
When we talk to them, you would not think that they're the age that they are. They're extremely well-spoken, put together, just really know what they're talking about. I clearly, after our first conversation, we want to get behind them.
Yeah.
And
But that's the
again,
thing, we want to get to know the organizations first, of course, because that's what we feel like we're responsible for, since we have those funds that we can allocate. Of course, we just don't want to do it blindly. We want to make sure that we can, buy into what they're doing.
and you see across the board of the people that you partner with, it's this idea of service to the community. You guys, Eileen, she, again, another person is not a veteran, but just wants to give back. She's doing amazing stuff. That the new facility that they have on the East End is so cool. That sign, when you drive past it, is just awesome.
I know.
They're doing great stuff out there. The two gentlemen from Sail Ahead, Rob, Rob was a veteran. Well, he is a veteran, I should say, and is a Marine. Rob, I won't mess that up. But this is his way of serving now.
Yep.
So that service continues, and it's great that it's right here on Long Island. You can drive past these places. You can go to these events. You can see everybody's faces, and you build this community. I really think that's what's kind of happened with the Suffolk County Veteran Run Series, and the work that family has put into keeping that going and getting these races involved. How did you guys get partnered up with them, being a fairly new organization and a fairly new run? I mean, the run, as you said, 2017. So, I mean, you haven't been around for 10, 15 years. How did you get partnered up?
I don't remember exactly how we met him, but I do know that, especially for the first couple of years, we had flyers everywhere. So we were going to all the veteran-oriented runs and walks, things of that nature, and, putting them all over the cars and stuff like that, and just asking to have booths with the national nonprofit that we were with. We would set up a booth there just to, bring awareness and let them know that the organization existed and things like that. So just being around that crowd, you wind up having people come up to you, or somebody saying, you should go introduce yourself to so-and-so. And I don't remember the exact time that we met Tim and Janet Scherer, but
we first met Tim at the the Run for Warriors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact date.
Right.
But we had an opportunity to meet Tim, and we talked a little bit, but then we told him that we would like to be a part of the series if that was possible, because our cause service veterans, which was something that was a requirement. There were certain requirements to be in the run series, but we had met those requirements from our run that we had done the previous 2 years. So Tim had talked to a few decision makers in the run series and felt it was a fit for us to be a part of. And we were ecstatic because when we were a part of the series, we probably had a 20 to 30% increase in participants just in being a part of the series.
And then all the other people that we wind up meeting because of it, everyone that hosts their own events and Gold Star parents and stuff like that. It's just, the relationships are priceless.
Yeah.
And that's just really what keeps us going besides the cause. It's just the people that we've been able to now call our friends. So it's very cool.
And I got to start meeting some of these people, going to some now that they're going to be in person, going to some of these events, and also the coin ceremony that they had there in Hauppauge was really cool. I mean, I know it was a drive-through and it had to be quick and it wasn't like a whole ceremony.
It was a modified version, but we still got to, see some of the faces.
Exactly. So. And you guys did a great job with still honoring what you guys do and what the other races do, and, saying thank you to the people that participate in these races. And like you said, most people, because you're part of the run series, you want to complete all of them if you can. So of course your numbers are going to go up, because like for somebody like myself, the way I found you guys was through the run series. I did the grid, and then I looked on the website and I said, okay, you guys are the next one. Let me do it. And then do the next one and the next one. Before you know it, you do all 9. It's great. So definitely a smart move, and definitely will keep you guys very busy. Very. Yeah,
all the race directors do work together for all of our runs, and any big decisions that are made collectively, we any decisions that are made, they're done collectively. Everyone's looped in. Yeah. There's really no decisions that are made without letting everybody at least know what's going on before it happens.
Put their 2 cents in, and
no one's left in the dark.
Yeah,
that's good. That's very good. Are you still doing the 22 push-ups?
Yeah. Yeah.
every day.
Every single day. I have not missed one day. It started April 2016.
Yeah.
So it's almost 1900 days now.
Wow.
For the 22 push-ups. But it sounds crazy. Wow, you've been doing push-ups for 22 days. But what's scary is that, the VA statistic is that they say 20 veterans per day dying by suicide now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a little bit less now, but either way, that number is not even close to accurate because it doesn't take into account reckless behavior, accidental deaths. If it's not something that's black and white, that this was a clear death by suicide, it's probably not going to be reported.
Yeah.
So with that, if we just took 22 a day, still keeping that same number times almost 1900, we're talking 41,000 veterans have died by suicide since I started doing the push-up challenge personally in April 2016.
The numbers are staggering. Yeah, because knowing that you guys were coming on, I was looking into some of the statistics and stuff like that. 114,000 veterans have died by suicide, and like you said, that number's not inclusive because that doesn't take into account if you were drinking and driving, something like that. Those would not be counted. So these numbers are probably 50% off, I would say, if not more.
Right.
But when you look at 114,000 is probably about 17, to 18 times the number of people that have actually died in Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. That's crazy. That's the deaths at home.
Yeah.
I can't say enough how important bringing people and empowering people with the knowledge to change this, to reach out to a friend, be a wingman, be a buddy, make sure you're checking on your folks and making sure that people are getting the help that they need and not just sending them to the VA where they're waiting in a line and it gives them more time to think about doing something to themselves or others or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I think most people think like, oh, he's home, he's not serving anymore, so he's safe now, or she's safe now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily the case. They're in a different kind of danger now, some of them.
Yeah.
So it's important to just still check in with them and just, like you said, make sure they're okay. And
that one text or phone call can make such a difference because there are a lot of people that just feel alone. That was the number one reason the survey was done not long ago. Number one reason why people end up taking their life was the number one reason from the survey was loneliness.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And with COVID, I mean, forget it. Even people who are not predisposed to PTS, you felt it. You felt isolated. You felt loneliness. So imagine how these guys and girls would feel.
If someone's feeling depressed before COVID, and now they're isolated and alone, they can't go out, they can't go to do the things with their buddies that they normally would do for that little outlet. Those things were canceled or, whatever reason due to restrictions.
Right.
Now, those things might be exacerbated, not in every case, but I'm sure a good percentage of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I thought about it myself. Friends that I normally would see every year that I served with, we always got together. I mean, we always did. And I didn't see any of them for a year.
Right. Now,
we're pretty good about it. We talk on the phone. We do FaceTimes, all that kind of stuff. Zooms. We do. We did a happy hour a couple of times throughout the year. Everybody, put the kid away, go downstairs, whatever the case may be. And it was fun. But if you don't have that network and you don't really make the effort, and that's why I say it time and time again, check on your friends, check on your buddies, because if you're not making that effort, I had a guy on from Pennsylvania from the Weekly Fight. And he was talking about his own personal stuff. And he said that you sometimes need that punch in the face to get out of that dark place.
Yeah.
And that punch in the face might just be a phone call when you're sitting in a, in his words, a piece of shit car thinking about killing yourself, and the phone rings. And now that just stops you for that one split second and it saves your life.
Yeah.
So you really can be the person that saves somebody's life just by picking up the phone.
Right. You think a phone call is something that's so insignificant, but don't think that way. Yeah, for sure.
Then nowadays, everyone's so easy, so quick to text that phone call don't even knows anyone's telephone number.
It's the
So,
truth.
Well,
you know,
text could have the same impact. So
I think phone calls now have the same effect as like someone writing a letter.
Yes.
Like, oh, I got a letter. Wow, someone really took
I
the
got a phone
time
call.
to really, think about me for more than like 2 seconds.
If you ever get a chance, there's an Italian comedian out of Chicago, I think. I forget his last name, and I'll butcher it if I even tried to say it. And he does this thing about the difference between when he was growing up and someone coming to his door versus now. Like if somebody came to my door right now,
I panic. I'm like,
oh my
what?
God. What are you crazy? You came to my house without like calling, texting. Whereas when we were growing up, people used to drop by. Your mom would keep food special for company that would just come by, and he does this whole skit. It's hilarious.
I know exactly what you talk about. It's hysterical.
It's hysterical.
Yeah,
People need to look that one up. But it's definitely fun. All right. So you've been doing for multiple years now, 22 a day, right? You're doing your push-ups, all of that, but you're also getting out into the public and doing it with other people, correct?
Yeah, whenever possible. I mean, who wants to see me do push-ups inside my house every single day?
In front of the TV, like most nights, I will say though, it has evolved to 22 plus 1. And the plus 1 is for the unfortunate active duty suicide, which is an average of 1 per day.
Okay.
So
Well,
we got to know Margie Miller, actually, from Project Miller 22 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
And she unfortunately lost her son. And just through discussing with her, that's how we learned that there was an average of 1 active duty. So it's only right to honor and remember and call attention to that as well. So it became 22 plus 1.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that you've kind of expanded that, because the active duty, the people serving right now, a lot of times in what these organizations try to attack and eradicate veteran suicide and all of that, we forget that the people serving right now are still dealing with stressors. They're deploying. They have family members at home. They're dealing with all of this stuff. And a lot of them don't go get any help because they don't want it on their military record.
Of course.
They're not going to just walk up to their doctor and talk about, suicidal tendencies or anything like that. It's not going to happen. All right. And that's something that really needs to change within the Department of Defense and across all the services. Is people have to drop this fear of getting help, a fear of it going on their record and stopping a promotion or making them non-deployable and they're going to get kicked out. We got to stop that. So I'm glad you guys are doing that, because it's very important.
Yeah. And just one other thing with the deaths by suicide, which we didn't cover before, but a suicide is attempted, not just veterans, just nationally, for every 26 seconds, one's attempted. It was like over 1.1 million attempts in 2019, because that's the most recent statistics. One every 26 seconds.
That's again staggering statistics when you think about it. And like you said, that's the country as a whole. And then when you drill down into veterans, and especially like you talked about with just reckless behavior, I'm going to be honest with you, veterans already behave recklessly. Okay. We don't need any help.
Right.
And you don't need to have any type of emotional or mental trauma or be dealing with anything to act a little crazy as a veteran, because we're all doing crazy, stupid crap because we're junkies when it comes to adrenaline and all of that. So now add in alcohol, drug use.
Right.
When more inhibitions go away.
Exactly. Any type of trauma that you're dealing with. And now you're doing things to act out. You're doing things to mask the other problems that you have.
Right.
And they can end, like I said, just something as simple as a DWI. I mean, that it's not going to get counted, and they really should be counting those.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about the race this year. Okay. We have an in-person and a virtual. When is it this year?
So this year, June 12th is when Saturday, June 12th, which is coming up very soon.
Yes.
But what's good about the virtual starts on the 12th, but goes through the following week. So I know we're getting close for getting towards the end of the window where someone could pre-register but they'll be able to register online for a couple days after the 12th. We don't know the exact date, but I would imagine we can have them keep it open until late week. So someone could register anytime. We still have T-shirts and dog tags, which we look like will still be in that position.
Yeah.
They will get that swag to help promote, and also they're getting something from their donation as well, which is pretty cool. So we're looking to have a decent size turnout for the in-person, but we understand that there are some people that are still uncomfortable or their schedules don't allow them to be in person. We have that virtual option.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm working that day, but I'm doing the virtual. I might even run it that morning. I just, won't be there. And it's in Bayshore?
Yep, Bayshore, Gardner County Park. Our start time is 8 a.m. for opening ceremonies, and we look to have the first run, the first wave kicking off by 8:30.
Right.
Very cool.
Now, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Trail course. It's 2.2 miles for the significance of 22. And it's just a pretty park, and it's very doable. We have plenty of moms with strollers that, a couple of routes, but we go down there and we spray paint them just to make sure everybody sees them. And it's a very doable course. It's a nice morning, and it's just, an opportunity to get back together with the community, which is awesome.
Right.
Yeah. And you have the rucking as well, correct?
Yes.
Where you can ruck the 2.2 for everybody out there that wants to throw some weight. How much weight do they have to have on them?
So if someone is under 150 pounds, it's 10 pounds. If someone's over 150 pounds, it's 20 pounds.
Right. And you can carry that weight in any form you like. I know we had someone last year who carried his children, which I believe is a personal friend of yours.
Yeah, he's a buddy of mine. He's like I said, veterans do weird stuff. I keep saying it. They're strange. It was hilarious, though.
The kids loved it.
He did sign up again this year, which we were excited to see.
Yes.
He's already 30 in. Yeah.
So
it's what's good about our distance is that we have a large percentage of walkers because it's 2.2. So people are comfortable doing a 2.2, or even sometimes that's their first organized race that they've done, because some people are not comfortable running a 3.1 mile, but they're comfortable with a 2.2. It's a little less intimidating, especially for a first event. So we get a large turnout each year for people that are most comfortable doing that shorter distance.
Yeah, no, I think I've been talking about it the past couple of weeks to on the show, and it's a great tune-up if you're looking to do some of the longer races, whether it's the Murph around the lake or the Suffolk County half or full or whatever the case may be. This is a great way. The 2.2 just gets you up off the couch, gets you in the street, whether you walk it, ruck it, run it, whatever you want to do. Again, break the stroller out. You got the jogger, whatever the case.
Yep.
And it gets you going, and then you kind of fall in love with it. And you say, all right, now I want to do the 5K. And then maybe I want to do the 15K for the Murph or the half marathon, whatever. So it's a great Kickstarter for everybody out there that just is looking for a reason to get up and get out.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, when I was doing like 5Ks and 10Ks in the street, this is after high school. I ran back in high school, but after, I have an obsessive personality. So I did that first 5K, then I want to do another one, and I want to do another one. And, next thing you know, you're doing like every single weekend. And what's amazing is that, there are people that we had a large number of people that did all 9 runs of the series last year. Not just because they want to do races, because they really cared and they wanted to support the different organizations that we get to have in our series. And this year, which we didn't mention, there's a new run in the series, Tactical Sergeant Deshaun Breaks Memorial Run.
Yes, that's right. I heard about this.
That's all virtual. They're going to be in August. So, but someone can go to Suffolk County Veteran Run Series.com, and they can view all 9 races and choose. If someone does at least 5 out of 9, they'll get a medal. And then if someone does at least 7 out of 9, just registered, even if they don't actually run it, registering still counts because they're still supporting that organization. They get a challenge coin, which very closely about how.
Yes, and the coins are awesome. You can check them out on my Instagram from when we went that day to pick them up. Very cool, very nice. Actually, it's a big coin too. It's not some chintzy thing, so it's really nice. I have it displayed with some of my coins from from my time in service, up on I have a table upstairs with my father-in-law's flag. I have a sewing kit from my grandfather from World War II.
Wow.
I have a cigar from my birth and my daughter's birth. I have pictures, and it's a whole like little military thing. And I put the coin there with my other coins. So because it was something that I started off the year, I was like, I'm going to do all 9. In July, I think it was Jordan's run. Towards the end of July, I had my first of 3 heart attacks. I did Jordan's run in the hospital with my heart meter. I walked it. I walked around and around and around, and I would stop and walk and stop and walk. And then I had to tally up 3.1 miles out of all that together, and I pieced it together. And I was the second to last time. So I was the second worst time.
Who cares?
But what I loved about it was there was an 80-year-old woman who came in just below me. Awesome woman.
Wow.
If I could find her, okay, amazing woman. She did, like I said, I think it was like a few seconds longer than me. And I'm like, that's right. Me and Gertrude, we're holding strong.
That's it.
All right. But
That's amazing.
it meant so much to me to get that coin at the end. And like I said, I have it with my little memorial that I have set up for all these different things that I've collected over the years. But I love it. I love what you guys do. I love everybody that's involved in the Suffolk County Veteran Run series. You're just doing amazing things. And again, at that local level, at that community level where it's so important.
It's just a way to give back.
Yeah.
In some other way, not only to our community, but to our veterans that have really, some of them made the ultimate sacrifice. Some of them are really still suffering. We just wanted to say, hey, we're here. We want to help in some way, whatever possible. But there's, like Jenny had said, there's so many different ways. We're lucky. We are really lucky within the county that we live in, Suffolk County. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of different resources out there. The other parts of the country that resources are definitely much more stretched out and not as easily accessible as there are here. So, we're lucky, but it's never enough. Yeah. There's never enough help and support,
And even here in New York, when you leave Suffolk County or even leave downstate, when you go upstate, your travel to a VA is longer. Organizations that are out there are spread out. So to get to some of these events that you might want to participate in, it gets harder and harder.
Exactly.
We're very lucky here. I think I said to you once before, Suffolk County has the highest concentration of veterans in New York State. Per the amount of people that actually live in Suffolk County. And we do a great job as citizens of this county supporting our veterans. You see it with all the different runs, the VFWs, the AMVETS, the American Legion, all these different organizations, very active, very, very active here in the local community. So it's great that you're a part of that and you're giving to all these, awesome people doing great stuff.
We're very proud to be a part of it.
Right. I'm happy to be a part of a community to be able to give back in some way. Because like you said in the beginning, that Jenny and I didn't serve in the military, but it's our way of serving. And I always really, until I started doing the work that, ever since we started the push-ups and then it's evolved since then, I always felt like I really missed an opportunity to serve in the military myself. So I'm really excited personally and, to collectively to be able to do this. It's a way to give back to others that have just really given so much.
Yeah. And like I said, now this is your service. I've talked to many people that even outside the podcast and they're like, man, I wish I would have served. My godfather is one of them. When I joined the military, he was like, he was almost like sad. You could almost see it in his face because he didn't do it. His father pushed him away from that. It was something that he wanted to do, but it was a different time. He was, older, and they kind of steered him into the family business. And that was, what he was supposed to do. And I don't think he got to make his decision. Right. And I think so many people maybe wanted to join the military and didn't for whatever their reason is, but it's important that you still can serve. You're still doing something for your country every single day. Every time you get on the ground and do your 22 and you're raising awareness for veteran suicide, that's your service, and that's what you should be doing.
Right.
So that's
you
awesome.
You never know how that is going to affect someone. It
Mhm.
might light a fire in them to want to get involved and do something like maybe to the level that what Jenny and I have done so far. But if not, maybe if they can just spread the word,
Right.
eventually it's going to connect with someone.
Pay it
Yeah.
forward in some way. Just thank a veteran that you see that's wearing one of their adorable little hats and just thank them for their service. It might brighten their day, or it might be somebody who was struggling. And by you saying that, that's their thing that gets them through the day. Just any little thing that anybody can do is needed.
Yep. And don't ever think that somebody else is going to do it. You need to be the one that does it. Because if everybody thinks like that, nobody does anything.
No,
Yeah,
will get done.
exactly.
Be the one that steps up and does it.
Be the change. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite sayings. So.
Without a doubt. Now we have to ask this question. It's important. All right.
Uh-oh.
What is it like as a husband and wife running a nonprofit, running these races, doing all this work, marketing it, all of that? How do you guys do it?
I don't know.
Pause. Oh, it's a good
I have to
pause.
think about that one.
I don't know. I mean,
I know
for me, I think we're lucky because we are each other's best friends. We're opposites in a lot of ways.
Okay. My wife and I too. I
think is a double-edged sword.
Yep.
Because it raises the frustration level, but at the same point, you can complement each other in that way. I don't know. We just
do, and then we figure out the how.
Yeah,
Afterwards.
and we were actually surprised that we're like, oh, we kind of like work well together. This works for us. We can do this. And,
we have our strengths. So Jenny is definitely the creative one.
I'm the idea man.
We do our own graphic design, everything, but really learn from YouTube and just messing around with it.
Same here. Everything that I've learned to do is basically through YouTube.
YouTube is everything.
Yeah, and that's my world. It saves a lot of money. One, we didn't have to
certainly
go to for it. Number two, we don't have to pay anybody to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's just more money coming out of the organization at this point than we would want to.
Right. We do everything we possibly can ourselves. We don't want to outsource anything because then you're taking away some of that money that you're raising, so we do.
Is there opportunity for better planning? Absolutely. But we're still doing our jobs and then trying to fit everything else in between. So trust me, it gets crazy. Like right now, getting ready for the run, we're a little frantic, but we know the end game of what's going to the fruits of the labor will pay off.
Yeah,
so
we know it's worth it.
That's what motivates us.
Yeah.
Knowing that we can give a check to an organization to hey, now do something great with it. That's what I want to keep doing.
Yeah. No, that's what it's all about. I lean on my wife all the time because I'm the scatterbrain who sees a squirrel and I'm like, oh,
squirrel.
What's over there? And she kind of grabs me and says, hold on.
Right.
We can't look at that coffee mug because it has a weird saying on it. You're focusing on paying a bill right now. Do that. But so without her, I'd be all over the damn place. It would be awful. Yeah. And some people would say, she says all the time, I couldn't work with you full time. She's like, because I would have to wring your neck. It would be
right.
But I would need her because if I did a business without her, it would fall apart.
Oh, no doubt. Thank you.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do this without each other.
Yeah. Yeah,
we'd just be arguing every single day.
Well, I might be able to deal with that.
Maybe, probably, you could. Because right before this interview, I was just trying to prepare made a new PDF to send over to a company that's going to just print a flyer within a local community. And so she's 15 minutes before, she goes, "Honey, you should really get ready for the interview." I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right." So I'm not frantic starting the call.
I told him, I'm you need to mentally prepare. He is very much like squirrel. Where he'll get distracted by 45 things and want to execute those 45 things. And I'm like, but that 44th thing is not a priority right now. We can do that later.
So I took the advice. I was on the call early, make sure the volume was good and the video was good. No frantic.
Yeah, like I said, I need it all the time. It's my wife is a saint. She really is for dealing with me.
We need each other. What can we do?
Yeah, that's right. So where can people sign up for the dog tag run? I know just for everybody, you can go to SuffolkCountyVeteranRunSeries.com. There is a link for races. You go down and you see the dog tag run, but is there any other place that they can sign up?
Yep. They can go to thedogtagrun.com.
Okay.
Right to the registration page. There's a couple little extra swag things on there that you can add on for an extra donation.
Very cool.
People can just donate there.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
People can just donate there if they, decide not to do the event. And we'll find all the details.
Very cool. Very cool. And please follow Operation Vest on Instagram. You guys are always putting stuff out, and I'm sure there'll be, pictures from the runs and all that kind of fun stuff. So, head on over there. You have Facebook as well?
That's correct.
Yes. Okay. So, and they also have an event. Yes. Because on Facebook, there is an event for the dog tag run. Click going, because you're going, everybody sign up. You're going to this, click going. Let's raise money. Let's get it out to these great organizations that help out our local veterans. So
what's cool is that when someone does click going, it shows up on their timeline and going to the event. Even if, things happen and they can't make it, now their friends are going to see that they're going to an event, and maybe that'll inspire them to at least get more information about the event. If they don't want to do the event, they'll learn what Operation Vest does, and maybe they'll learn that we're, every 26 seconds, suicide is attempted. So that could be a good takeaway just from someone just hitting going. You never know how it's going to affect someone else.
Yep. Remember, you're the marketing team. Everybody out there, every listener, you're the one that's going to get another person to sign up. So when you sign up, you get one more person along the way, bring them on in. We're raising awareness and we're raising money for a great cause.
It's free marketing.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Cool. Well, guys, I thank you so much for coming on the show. I've had a blast talking to you. Any last thoughts? Anything that you want to say, please?
I'm good. You might have something.
No, we're just I am personally, and we're appreciative to be a part of this community. Thank you for the work that you do, because you're
Thank you for your service.
There's a lot of things out there that people don't know about, and your platform is getting the word out there for people that really don't have a platform. So you're the voice for them, and keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. We're just trying to get spread our causes out, and hopefully
work together.
We continue to make a positive change, and doing something is better than nothing.
Yes, without a doubt.
If we all did a little something, God, what a different world we would live in.
Yep. It's the intention to do something is not actually doing something. It's easy to sit on your couch and say, man, I really should take out the garbage. But if you don't ever take out the garbage man's not going to pick it up. So
it's going to smell.
Yeah. So get out there and do this. Let's get out in these runs. Let's support these organizations. Thank you so much, guys. I've had a blast, and good luck with the run. It's going to be awesome. You'll see my pictures out there. I'll be out running down the road, just loving every minute of it.
Yeah. Make sure you post your pictures on the Elite Feet site.
Yes.
Like you did last time. So we can, make sure they get shared too.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All righty.